Welcome to the 700 Club. Let's go over to the CBN newsroom for today's top stories.
Gordon, holiday travelers are still having a hard time reaching their final destinations. Harsh weather and COVID-19 staffing issues are causing big delays. Thousands of flights have been canceled since Christmas, and more winter weather is in the forecast. Our Brody Carter is on this story.
It's been a tough time to travel this holiday season. More than 8,000 U.S. flights have been canceled just since Christmas Eve.
It's very stressful. I'm constantly checking to see if there's any changes.
Winter winds and weather, coupled with COVID-19 staffing shortages, have forced airlines scrambling. Delta Airlines delayed 600 flights on Wednesday alone, canceling 129. Alaska Airlines, 170 flights canceled. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport saw the most flights canceled in the world for 2 days running.
Statistically, there are people here with COVID, right? So I think we take a risk anytime we go somewhere.
On average, 2 million travelers pass through TSA each day. That's more than double the number of passengers in 2020. And with a New Year's winter storm threatening holiday travel across the plains and Midwest, more delays and cancellations are expected across the board.
And we've been stuck in traffic since 8:30 in the morning.
Parts of Nevada, California, and Oregon all issuing emergencies after heavy snow and torrential rains threatened travelers both in the air and on the road. Over a 5-day span, frozen roads have caused nearly 1,000 traffic accidents in Oregon.
Coming up here, it was pretty mellow, no snow on the roads.
No snow at all.
Getting back home is probably going to be a little more tricky.
But it hasn't been all bad. The winter weather also bringing the opportunity for both kids and adults to play.
It was so much fun.
Big smiles remind us why we travel all those miles in the first place. Brody Carter, CBN News.
One of the most important progressions of recent years is the rapid developments in technology. High tech and artificial intelligence are fast becoming a big part of our daily lives, including household robots. As people spend more time every day with smartphones, their computers, Alexa or Siri, where does that put serving God? Gary Lane brings us this look at the spiritual dangers of a growing dependence on artificial intelligence and what it could pose to people of faith.
We live in a rapidly advancing world, dominated by intelligent computers and high-tech machines. Author Wallace Henley says this could take American society deeper into dangerous territory, a less human world, which replaces the creator with the created.
We have these machines emerging, and people are beginning to worship those machines. There's actually an AI church now. There's another technology specialist who said if this thing can go 1 billion times faster than the human brain, this machine, then the only thing that we can call it is God.
Henley is a Christian Post exclusive columnist and author of the book, Who Will Rule the Coming Gods? Appearing recently on CBN's The Global Lane, Henley suggests an excessive dependency on technology may draw people away from acknowledging and embracing God's supremacy.
Just about the time we're forgetting God, forgetting his transcendent majesty and our accountability to it, we're developing these machines that are taking his place.
A world where machines create a more leisurely and convenient society, but also one lacking accountability and dependency on God. Remember Rosie the robot from the 1960s cartoon The Jetsons?
I may be homely, Buster, but I'm S-M-A-R-T smart.
It's no longer science fiction. Today, less sophisticated robots are being used to vacuum floors, build automobiles, and deliver fast food.
Hello, here's your delivery.
And meet Amazon's Astro, a robot that monitors your home and follows you from room to room. Think of Alexa on wheels.
A robot?
Yes.
What are we going to do with a robot?
I kind of like having information at my fingertips in the palm of my hand, and I look forward to getting a robot someday that will mow my lawn, maybe even fix the plumbing. Anything wrong with that? When should I become morally and spiritually concerned?
There's nothing wrong with that, as long as we understand the utility of it. I'm thankful every time I go to a doctor and they have to probe me, and instead of opening my body and doing exploratory surgery, they can stick something inside of me and find out what's wrong. I like that. That's great. That's much better. But what's dangerous is when we forget that God is enthroned, that we were made for transcendence. The human being is wired for that.
Gospel music executive Marquise Boone shares that concern. He created JC, a computer-generated AI gospel music artist.
If you ever go to pieces, fall between the thunder clouds, I will put you back together. I won't let you down.
Boone suggests non-human techno singers like JC can be used to point music fans back to God.
We enjoy personalities, we enjoy their music, but we start to really idolize them. We start to really believe that these people are almost like gods, and that's not the goal of God, is to have us to redirect them only back to Him for worship, not to make it about us.
Henley believes America's founding fathers understood the importance of divine accountability.
They said we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. And whenever we don't understand that, then the state becomes dominant and the utility becomes the most important thing.
And he says when that happens, society changes for the worse. The slave era is just one example when human beings were treated as property. Henley believes the mindset is repeating itself in America today. People are being used without fellowship, without the bond that God wants us to have in relationships. He urges us to be on guard and aware of the standing that we give to God and technology in our life.
When we come to giving ourselves so completely, without knowing it, to the machines, we're in dangerous territory. St. Augustine said, the human heart was made by God and for God, and only God can fill it.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
I want to turn now to health news. It's common for people to put on extra pounds over the holidays and then they want to get rid of them. And that is smart because doctors say maintaining a healthy diet and exercise are among the best ways to avoid getting deadly diseases. Medical reporter Lori Johnson introduces us to a man who lost 100 pounds and his wife who dropped 50. And they did it one step at a time.
Together, Jeff and Angela Jordan developed a love of running and in the process lost a combined 150 pounds.
We feel 20 years younger. We feel so much more energetic and active.
25 years ago, they developed a love for each other. Like many couples, over time, they gradually put on weight. At 5'9", Jeff tipped the scale at 264 pounds. And 5'3" Angela weighed 195.
I had actually gotten to the point where my wedding ring was cutting off the circulation to my finger, and I started to develop lower back pain just from standing and doing the dishes.
In an effort to exercise with accountability, they joined the Kempsville Running Club.
They asked us what our goals were, and we said, well, we're here for fitness. And they said, well, that's great, we'll help. They were just there for everybody, whether they were going to run an ultramarathon or whether they're just going to walk or jog to the end of the street.
Jeff and Angela say running brings them closer to God.
To go out on a run and put just worship music on and to surround yourself in that, and you feel like you've actually been to church and worshiped.
They initially thought they were too busy to exercise, but after hitting the road, have felt blessed with greater productivity in less time.
And I told God, I said, look, every step I take towards becoming physically fit, I want you to prosper it and bless it. And I feel like He has.
Soon after the Jordans started running, they wanted to get better at it and enjoy it more. That motivated them to change their diet.
I started to naturally gravitate towards the foods that were going to provide better energy.
Like whole grains, vegetables, beans, and fruit.
One of the things that I had discovered in all of the research was that 97% of Americans are deficient in fiber. And I found the more I migrated toward that higher fiber content actually translated to more weight loss.
Then the couple started counting calories.
If you take in less than you burn, you're going to lose weight. And you can see it in black and white. You see exactly. And I think with putting everything down on paper, there's no blind spots.
After a year, Jeff lost 100 pounds and Angela lost 50, along with her back pain.
One day I was just like, you know what, it's gone. I don't have to take the ibuprofen anymore. And look at this ring actually comes off now.
They hope their results and testimony inspire others.
I would say it doesn't have to be running, but find your exercise that suits you and pursue it.
Lori Johnson, CBN News.